Welcome to the Billionaire Mindset, your 30-day journey to thinking like a billionaire. Now you can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus PDF companion calendar, check the link in the description below. Today is day 9, and we're going to learn how billionaires get and stay motivated. Enjoy.
When I started Amazon, it was 25 years ago. I started Amazon in 1994. When I went to seek investors, the first question I had to answer is, what is the internet? None of my investors had ever heard of the internet. And the idea that I had in mind was to build a bookstore. I realized that we could build a store which would have every book ever printed in any language, in print or out of print, and we could do that online. It would be impossible in a physical store, and that was the founding idea of Amazon. But did I expect what would happen today? No. You know, we started, I've been at Amazon when it was one person, me, when it was 10 people, when it was 100 people, when it was 1,000 people, and today, when it's more than 700,000 people and approaching 70,000 people just here in India. So, no, I did not predict that. And actually, I think if anybody had predicted that, they would have needed to be immediately institutionalized in a mental facility, because it's not a normal thing to have happen. My dream when I started Amazon was that one day we might be able to afford a forklift. So it's been a very fun journey for me. And by the way, I still tap dance into work. I'm having so much fun.
This is the #1 way to make more money in 2021. It's made me nearly $170,000 within just the first 2 months.
Much fun.
What propelled you to sell things more than books?
After books, we started selling music, and then we started selling videos. And then I got smart, and I emailed 1,000 randomly selected customers and asked them, besides the things we sell today, what would you like to see us sell? And that answer came back incredibly long-tailed. The way they answered the question was with whatever they were looking for at that moment. So like I remember one of the answers was, I wish you sold windshield wiper blades because I really need windshield wiper blades. And I thought to myself, we can sell anything this way. And then we launched electronics and toys and many other categories over time. And the vision became, because you read the original business plan, it's just books.
How would you advise people who aren't necessarily going into a career field in which you would make a large base salary, such as like medicine or something like that, maybe performing arts or music? How would you advise us to keep up financially with the rest of the world?
Well, it is true that a market system does not pay as well in some activities as might seem appropriate for the importance of those activities to society. Just take teaching, for example. I mean, teaching does not pay well. And what could be more important? I mean, you've got to be as interested in who the teachers of your children are as who your accountant is, or whatever, or who's winning the heavyweight title of the world, or that sort of thing. But it doesn't pay well, and it's a fundamental choice whether you're going to go into something. For many people, it'd be a fundamental choice whether you're going to go into something you love or something to try and make a lot of money. I think that generally it pays to go with what you love. I think that it's very hard to find people when they get to be my age who say that they've loved what they've done all their life and feel it was very worthwhile, but they're terribly sad they made that choice because they didn't make a lot of money. I don't think anybody's ever said that to me, that they wish they'd gone into something else where they were uncomfortable doing it or didn't enjoy it, didn't feel very productive, but made a lot of money. So I don't think you'll find that. So I would go to work. I would go to work in whatever turns you on. It may turn out that it'll be more profitable than you can think, but almost everybody here will make enough money, unless they get some terrible habits along the way, to do reasonably well. And doing reasonably well in this country really is pretty darn good. I mean, it's not necessary to have huge amounts of money in order to enjoy yourself. I enjoyed myself when I had my $10,000, and I live in the same house that I lived in when I had about that. I bought it 41 years ago. I liked the house then. I like the house now. I mean, if you think about it, if you have a reasonable job, you'll be eating at McDonald's and I'll be eating at McDonald's. So we're to push on food. I mean, you know, in fact, I hope it's Dairy Queen actually, and maybe and if you come to Dairy Queen, you'll see me. And you can order anything on the menu I can order, and we both can afford it. You know, you'll wear the same clothes I wear. I'll pay more for my suits, but as soon as I put them on, they look cheap on me. So we'll look about the same. We'll both live in the same kind of houses. I live in that house from 41 years ago, and it's warm in winter, and it's cool in summer, and it's comfortable. And you'll live in a house that's similar. And what difference does it make if you have 50 more rooms or, you know, guest houses or all that? You know, it'll probably just bring you problems. I mean, you have to worry about the greenskeeper or something when you get through. So I have been in the houses of people where the houses are worth probably 200 times what my house is worth, and I would not be any happier in those houses at all. In fact, I'd be less happy. I'd just have one more thing to worry about, and, you know, dozens of people around the place, and people quitting, and people stealing from you, and all kinds of things. To hell with it, you know. We'll drive the same kind of car. In fact, you'll probably drive a better car. I drive a car that's about 8 years old. I don't know what it's worth now, but it gets me around fine. I mean, I'm perfectly happy. We'll watch the same television, you know. We'll work on the same computer pretty much. The only difference will be how we travel long distances, you know. I will fly in a plane that's more comfortable than flying Southwest Airlines or something, which I've got nothing against. But that's the one real big difference. And other than that, I do what I like every day. I hope you'll do what you like every day to do. And I work with nice people. I hope you work with nice people. And there's 24 hours in the day, and those are where the hours go. So great wealth is the tiniest bit different in a real sense than having just a decent income. And to trade a decent income and something you love doing and something where you feel worthwhile doing it for huge wealth where you trade off a lot of your principles would be a terrible.
We're all persuading all the time. Sales and persuasion is part of our lives. It's like
terrible mistake. You're lucky in life if you can find your passion. I tell the students, you know, you may have to take a job or two. You got to eat, but never give up searching for the job that's your passion. Try to find the job that you would have if you were independently rich. That's the job I have. And when you find that job, the job that causes you to be excited every day and forget about the pay, and where you associate with people you love, doing what you love, it doesn't get any better than that. My partner Charlie is 89, and we were talking about that this weekend. You know, I'm 82, he's 89. We do what we love every day with people we love, you know, and they seem to like us okay. So, how can it be any better? And just cost of living does not equate to standard of living. And the standard of living is, you know, achieving what you want to achieve, working with people that you love. And you don't need that much money. Aside, right. I love to ride around in a private plane. I will totally acknowledge that. Leaving that out, you know, I basically, you know, leaving out taxes and charity and things like that, I can easily live on $100,000 a year. And I wouldn't live better if I had 8 houses, if I had, you know, a 400-foot yacht or anything of the sort. I've been on 400-foot yachts, and I've been in a lot of fancy houses, but I'm in a house that I bought 55 years ago. It's warm in the winter, it's cool in the summer, it has everything I wanted, plus it has all kinds of good memories. You know, right. my kids have good thoughts about it. I can't imagine living any better. I paid $31,500 for it. I could pay $31 million for a house, and it wouldn't do for me what this present house does.
I was wondering how you define success personally.
Well, I can certainly define happiness, because that's what I am. I mean, I mean, I get to do what I like to do every single day of the year, and I get to do it with people I like. And I don't have to associate with anybody. Causes my stomach to churn. The only thing in my job I don't like, and this only happens about every 3 or 4 years, occasionally I have to fire somebody, and I don't like. That's the only thing. Other than I tap dance to work, and I get down there, and I think I'm supposed to lie on my back and paint the ceiling, you know, or something like Michelangelo. I mean, that's the way I feel, and it doesn't diminish. It's tremendous fun. So, you know, if they say that success is getting what you want and happiness is wanting what you get. Well, I don't know which one applies in this case, but I do know that I wouldn't be doing anything else. I mean, I do advise you, you know, when you go out to work, go to work for an organization that you admire, people you admire, because it'll turn you on, and you ought to be happy where you are working. And I always worry about people who say, you know, I'm going to do this for 10 years. I really don't like it very well, and then I'll do 10 more years of this. And I mean, that's a little like saving up sex for your old age. I mean, not a very good idea. So get right in.
I would recommend that.
Get right into what you enjoy, you know, and you'll be successful at it. You really will. I mean, you won't be able to miss. And you know, that's. I don't regard what I do as the most important thing in the world at all, but it's right for me. I mean, I happen to be wired in a certain way that what I do works in this. If I had to do what, you know, Bill does, I mean, it lasts about 10 minutes. And that's true of a lot of things, but luckily I kind of stumbled into the thing that I do best, and that, you know, that it's worked out well.
Things that I've chosen have not been I've not been trying to optimize on a risk-adjusted return basis. So there are, like, I would not say that I went into the rocket business, the car business, or the solar business thinking that it's a great opportunity. I just thought that something needed to be done in these industries in order to make a difference, and that's why I did it. So. But in general, I do think it's worth thinking about, like, whether what you're doing is going to result in disruptive change or not. If it's just incremental, it's unlikely to be something major. It's got to be something that's substantially better than what's gone on before. Other car companies just really want to outsource battery technology, not even making like this battery module and cell, but they're obviously outsourcing the cells, but even outsourcing the modules and the packs. You know, and it's like they're really not thinking about fundamental chemistry improvements. And so I should say a bit about like electric vehicles or sustainable energy in general. You know, I said it was pretty, I think, obvious to not just to me, but to a lot of people, even go back 30 years or longer, that we must have a sustainable energy solution. In fact, it's tautological. If it's not sustainable, we must at some point find an alternative to it. And so, even if there were no environmental impact to the sort of a fossil fuel economy, then we would run out of them, and then we'd have economic collapse, and civilization would fall apart. So that was actually my initial motivation for electric vehicles. It's like, okay, we've got to have a solution that does not require mining hydrocarbons, that is sustainable in the long term. It was not actually initially from an environmental standpoint, because I had not realized the gravity of the environmental situation at that time. And I thought, actually, for sure, by now we'd have electric cars.
We just sold a company out of Atlanta that went on Shark Tank as Cycloramic. They had the iPhone that used the buzzer, and you ran this app on it, and it just turned around and did a panoramic version of the phone, took panoramic pictures. Well, they changed the format of the iPhone, which is great. This is a great lesson for entrepreneurs, right? So this guy came in with this really cool app, worked with an iPhone 5, and it just turned around and take panoramic pictures and then stitch them together, and it was a cool picture. Well, so I give him $250,000, I think, for 20% of the company or 25% of the company. Not 4 months later, Apple changes the iPhone, and it's got this like rounded thing underneath, and we're like, oh, what are we going to do? But the guy was smart. And one of the things I always look for companies coming in is, what's your unique advantage? What is the one thing you have that differentiates you from other companies? And for this guy, the product was interesting, but as I said on the show, the ability to program video and use what became computer vision was a unique skill that was hard to find. And so we worked with him and actually worked with him to bring in another CEO. And they used that same technology to be able to scan cars. So now if you go to websites like Carvana to buy a car and you see how you can turn the car around just right there, that started with their software. And the guy's name is Bruno. So Bruno, we just sold his company for $22.5 million a couple weeks ago. And so I walked away with 25% of that. So I was like, yeah, Shark Tank.
Throughout my 20s, I continued experimenting, trying different things, racing bikes and boats and constantly changing jobs. It didn't take me long to discover that the most interesting and rewarding programming jobs were found at a cluster of companies located south of Stanford University and north of San Jose. Silicon Valley was in its infancy. I was still in my 20s when I went to work for my first Silicon Valley startup, Amdahl, where we developed the world's fastest mainframe computer, faster than anything IBM had. Next stop was Ampex, where we built the world's largest digital data storage system. Then on to Precision Instruments, where we built an even larger data storage system, this time using lasers. I was the vice president in charge of software development. It was all very cutting edge and challenging and cool. I liked my work most of the time, but I didn't love it. I searched and I searched, but I just could not find a software engineering job that I loved as much as I loved sailing. So I tried to create one. I put together a plan to start my own company. That way I could completely control my work environment. I would hire the most talented programmers I knew, and we would all work together on the most interesting and challenging software projects. My goal was to create the perfect job for me, a job I truly loved. I never expected the company to grow beyond 50 people.
How did you get through tax?
Just shoot for the stars. If it feels right, then aim for my heart. If you feel like it, take me away and make it okay. I swear I'll behave. You wanted control, so we waited. make me smile. Take control on me just for the night. And if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this. So watch and learn. I won't show you twice. Head to toe, ooh, baby, run it right. But if I share my secret, you're gonna have to keep it. Nobody else can see this.
And it goes like this. Take me by the tongue and I know you. Kiss me till you're drunk and I'll show you all the moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you. With them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger.
Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feeling that power you have, your determination to control your breathing. The same way you can take control of your mind, anywhere you are, whatever you're doing. Let's use that same power, that same determination to see in our minds the image, the visions that we want to create today in our lives. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can on all of the stretches and exercises we do together here and now. Let's use that power we have, our true being, our presence, our determination to see in our mind right now, go into the future. Think about what you want to make real. Bring it to the present. And that music goes
That was a great workout. Now it's time for our cool down. Let's start off with a few cool down stretches. Start off with the shoulder stretch. Take your right arm, place it across your body. You can use your left arm to pull it towards your body gently. Let's switch with your left arm. Next, we're going to try an overhead stretch. Arms together, just reach up for the sky. And we're going to do hands behind your back, stick out your chest. We're just going to do a chest stretch. Awesome. We're going to go down to the floor in a kneeling position. Start off with my right knee back, left knee forward. And all I'm going to do is a hip flexor, and I'm going to move forward, keeping your body nice and straight. Move forward. And hold. And switch. Remain straight and lean. Your front foot is flat on the floor. Next one, we're going to go onto our stomachs. On your elbows, elbows are directly under your shoulders, and we're just going to come up like a cobra. We're going to turn over onto our backs. Arms out. We're going to start off with our right leg, trying to touch our left hand, but keeping our right shoulder onto the ground. And let gravity do the work. Bring it back and try left foot, trying to touch our right hand. Keeping both shoulders onto the floor. And back up. Last one, we're going to do a hamstring stretch. This one, I need you to have your knees slightly bent, feet shoulder width apart. We're going to keep our back straight on this, and we're going to try and get as far down as we can. Some of you will be able to touch your toes. What I don't want you to do is have your legs straight and do this. What you want to do is slight bend, keep your back straight, and see how far down you can go and hold. Great job today.
Feel that? Feel that power? That oneness of us controlling our breathing and our minds? Right here, right now? No matter how hard our movements, exercises were today, no matter how much our body tried to take control of our minds, feel that? That's you. The real you. That's our consciousness. Our being awake fully. To control our minds, to control our breathing, to control our bodies, to control our lives. It's all possible through the power of you being present, staying in the now, right here, right now, wherever you are, wherever you are. potential right now. There's only the present, the gift that is you. The being that is you, which makes everything else possible. See, right here, right now, is just pure presence, pure happiness, pure winning, pure essence, pure determination of who and what we really are. With this power, this peace, right here in this moment, right now, we can always have all the mind health, and even greater, the mind wealth we were built for. I love your determination. Great work today. I'm so proud of you. Wherever you are, take the power of this time we had together, apply it to everything in your life. Doesn't matter whether we're in school, at work, wherever we are. The gym of life never ends. And life is the greatest teacher. That's why I love you and everything and all the infinite intelligence around us. It's life. It's always here. You're always learning, always growing. I love your determination. Have a great day, week, and life always. Until next time.
Guys, welcome back to our channel. There's nothing new with the notion of waking up early. If you wake up at midday, we're pretty sure that your parents list out all the reasons you shouldn't be doing so. School was early, so was your university days. And yet, here you are trying to find out more reasons to believe that waking up early indeed helps. Well, we've got just the thing for you. We believe money does bring in happiness, and listen to this. We do believe waking up early brings in more money. It's okay. You can choose not to believe us for now, but we're absolutely sure that you will be setting your alarms to wake up at dawn after we convince you to do so by the end of this video on how waking up early can be financially beneficial. The early bird catches the worm might be a saying that goes great for birds, but it's now time that we should be changing it to the earlier you rise, the more money you make. We know all about the health benefits of waking up early, but it turns out there's a relation between waking up early and making more money as well. Let us ease into it. Ever heard of inertia? It's basically the property of a matter to stay in its continued state of rest or uniform motion. Turns out there's something called sleep inertia as well. You might have even experienced it. That slow-moving period of time between a sleep-induced brain fog where you want to stretch out your limbs and aren't really motivated to start on something, and the full wakefulness when you actually start getting your work done. This can last anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. We can guess your routine pretty well. You wake up, get a few shots of espresso, stop the sleep inertia, and get to work. However, here's the thing. If you wake up early, your body and brain will get more time to actually wake up and take you to work with more energy and mindfulness, instead of letting those shots of espresso do all the thinking for you. Granted, the first couple of days you might have to drag yourself out of bed, but as soon as you make it a routine to get up early, you'll definitely notice a change in your energy levels and motivation to work with mental clarity. And you already know that working smart is one of the first and foolproof steps to get those dollar bills at the end of the day. We're going to turn to science to make you believe in what we're saying. In 2014, a study carried out showed that early risers were less plagued with negative thoughts than those who stay up late and sleep even later. Now here's the thing, mental illness is very, very real. We all have those anxiety and stress-ridden thoughts that always manage to come and hit us right when we're going to sleep. Oh look, remember that very embarrassing thing you did when you were 10? That's what our brains do to us every time. Sleep is one of the primary medications any psychiatrist prescribes if you're having anxiety and mental health issues, because it does somehow make things better. Studies have also shown that early risers are linked with character traits like optimism, satisfaction, and being agreeable. Good news for night owls who are characterized as creative and intelligent. They are, however, also known to show traits like depression, pessimism, and being neurotic. So if you do the arithmetic, going to sleep early and waking up might actually help you tone down those negative thoughts. You can't really sit at work and make decisions that will bring you money if you're constantly stressed or are plagued with negative thoughts, can you? If you hate your job, don't worry. 85% of workers are just like you. And if you've already watched plenty of videos to get pointers on financial betterment, you already know doing what you love is one of the best ways to earn quite a lot of money. Unfortunately, you don't have that. So what's your plan? How do you make sure that you have financial stability, even after leaving your job and trying to find something that you really love doing? Well, we're going to give an expected yet weird answer. Wake up early. Here's a cookie. Studies have shown that early risers are better planners. And that's exactly what you need if you want to make more money and be financially stable. You'll get the chance of using that one peaceful hour to figure out a way to help yourself and even get started on your business without leaving your present job, unless you're absolutely sure that you can stand on your own feet. At this point, you must be thinking, this is all about waking up early after I start working. Let me just snore till noon like in my varsity days. Well, you can do that, or you can surprise your mates by waking up early right from the start. Why, you ask? Again, we're going to turn to studies and science for that. In this scenario, Harvard biologist Christopher Randler conducted a study of 367 university students. When it comes to business success, morning people hold the important cards, he found. My research showed that they tend to get better grades in school, which get them into better colleges, which then lead to better job opportunities. And it does match up. If you do get into better colleges and better job opportunities by just getting yourself out of that bed at dawn, there's a higher chance that not only will you have a great financial statement, but also love your job, as you will be open to more choices. Another interesting thing that Randler found out is that morning people can anticipate problems better than people who wake up late. In fact, they're even more efficient at minimizing the problems they face. And that sounds great. After all, who wouldn't love to lessen the problems they have in life? However, Randler's observations didn't end there. There are some even more concrete reasons as to how waking up early opens up so many financial benefits. Proactivity is a trait that's directly linked with better job performance, greater career success, and higher wages. And guess what? Dragging yourself out of the bed every day at early morning will make you proactive as well. We guess we really are overselling it here, but do we really need to give more reasons for waking up early? Although waking up early does sound tough, especially if you're a person who's never seen the sunrise, trust us when we say that it really isn't. While the first few days can be tough, and you might feel like rushing back to your bed as soon as you get out of it, it becomes easier with routine. Find a way to make yourself even more energetic. Get those yoga pants on and go for a jog. Do some stretching and have a cup of steaming beverage. Not only will it make you feel like you're ready to take on the day, it will also make you believe that you can make more money and become healthier if you want to. Until now, we might have talked about how waking up early improves your mind and body, which indirectly affects your work and income. But there's even more mounting evidence that suggests a direct link between what time you get up and what you earn.
Serial procrastination is something that affects 80% of the population, even high-performing intelligence.
TheSleepJudge.com conducted a survey of 1,063 Americans and compared those with established morning habits to those who approached mornings more casually to determine if there was a correlation between morning routines and increased earnings. No surprise, the survey found out that individuals who stuck with a consistent early morning routine earned roughly $12,500 more per year than those without them. And that's a pretty good edge. What morning routines made this even better? Activities like working out, taking a cold shower, meditating, and writing a daily journal in the early morning hours turned out to be fairly linked, with chances of having a higher income. Sitting at the bottom were activities like checking social media and hitting the snooze button, which at this point you know not to do. If all these reasons aren't enough, you could sit back and look at your inspirations and how they get on with their day. Apple CEO Tim Cook is known for waking up at 3:45 a.m. every day. That's an extreme, even to us. But this makes it possible for him to respond to around 800 emails throughout the day. Make sure to get enough exercise, get 7 hours of sleep daily, and let's not forget, run a successful company. It's pretty much easy to understand at this point that all of this couldn't have been done if he woke up at 10 in the morning. Maybe it would have, but he would have some constant friends, stress, sleep circles, and less time to manage everything. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz wakes up at 4:30 a.m. Schultz loves to walk his dog and spend some time with his wife in the morning before swamping himself with work. In fact, this is an added bonus to sleeping early. When you come back tired after your day, we won't blame you if you don't really feel like sitting down at the table and having a fun time with your family. However, going to sleep early and waking up in the morning will definitely give you more time to bond with your family members. Even actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has said through his Facebook account that he gets up at 4 a.m. to start working out. And we really do not need to emphasize how great he is at doing this point. But here's an important thing to remember. Having some vague reason to get up or forcing yourself out of bed just because you think that it will make you successful or a CEO won't help you start a morning routine. Becoming successful, achieving financial stability, and becoming rich is a pretty complicated recipe. And what we are sure about is that waking up early is a precious ingredient that will help enrich the meal. Once you realize that waking up early serves a purpose, you'll treat it as a means to an end, instead of the end itself. Then, you'll actually stand a chance of making it a successful habit and get on with a much healthier lifestyle. When you're waking up at the crack of dawn, exercising, making plans, figuring out the problems you're facing and how to overcome them, or writing a journal, it will surely give you a head start on the rest of the world. Not to mention working better and getting a chance to get to a better financial place. So, were we able to convince you that waking up early is great? How about you stop snoozing that alarm and get a start on your day from tomorrow? Do let us know if you're going to be an early bird in the comments section down below. Also, if you loved the video, make sure to hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. All of this really helps us out, you guys. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next.
My name is Jackson Coda, and I'm 11 years old. I love baseball. Being on the baseball diamond makes me happiest. Baseball is just one of my passions. There is just naturally a lot of thinking that's involved with it, statistics, and where you have to be on each play and things like that. Well, I took a test to get into our school's gifted and talented program, and Mensa somehow found out about it. And we sent in some applications, and I was accepted into Mensa based on those test scores. When I was really little, I could read really long numbers, 15, 18 digits, into the quadrillions and quintillions.
I would say that we probably knew something was different about Jackson before he was 2. He said 350. And I'm like, how do you know that? And I got a napkin and a pen, and I put a 1 in front of it. And he said 1,350. And then I put a number in front of that. He's like 21,350. And he just kept going until my napkin was filled with probably up to 15 digits.
And we had never taught him.
Well, who would teach a 2-year-old that?
Right. You know, there's a rhythm to numbers, and just something about that is very, in a weird way, very simple for him.
A lot of times, I'm able to do what I do pretty naturally. This is a long one. Usually I try to do it without usually a calculator if I can. I was doing these really advanced things like algebra, geometry, and things like that. Numbers can be found everywhere. You can find them maybe at a supermarket. You can find them in construction, the lengths of maybe walls that you have to put up. You can really just find math everywhere.
Early on, he was just so hyper-focused on whatever it was in front of him, and he would rather sort shapes by their attributes than run around with trucks or things like that.
This is a blueprint of what my Rube Goldberg machine will be like. There is rarely an occasion where I'll make a Rube Goldberg machine that works on the first try, but if I plan everything out well and I test it out enough, sometimes if I get lucky and it'll work on the first try. Big thing with this is basically a lot of times you just have to try and try again. Basically, it's all about trial and error. It's fascinating for me to see how all the parts work together to complete a task. All right, attempt number 5 in 3, 2, 1. All right, good, good. All righty. Come on, come on. Did that go in?
He's gifted in other areas and has heightened senses in other areas that have compensated and made up for this deficit, that so much so that you don't even know that he has it.
Rocks, come on down. One of my coping skills is I look at the person's mouth that's talking to me, and I can read their lips, so that a lot of times lets me know what they're saying.
When he's 4 and 5, you start thinking about, you know, preschool and kindergarten and those things, and everyone's like, well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna put him in like 5th grade? And we're like, no, that didn't ever seem like something we would have done. And not to mention, Matt said, well, okay, he knows his multiplication facts, he's 4 years old, he can read, he can do all these things, but he can't tie his shoes.
We want him to be able to have an impact on people. In order to do that, we believe that he needs to be able to interact with people and socialize with people. And we don't feel that you learn how to do that if you're not with your peers.
I like a comment Jackson made one time after an academic competition. He said, you know, this doesn't define who I am. I'm more than just, you know, able to solve math problems or equations.
Right.
Higher than, he's more than that.
Graduating college at age 11 is not something that I want to do because I wouldn't be able to do the things I love, like play baseball or hang out with my friends and just be a kid.
Hey, NBC.
What's assets?
Assets are things that bring money into your bank account.
What's liabilities?
Liabilities are things that take money out your bank account.
Entrepreneurship is the act of becoming an entrepreneur. What's entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship is a process of setting up a business or businesses.
Taking on a greater than normal.
Financial risk.
What's an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur is a person that organizes and operates a business or businesses.
Also taking on a greater than normal.
Financial risk.
What's financial mean?
Money.
And what's risk mean?
Chance.
Come on. What does it mean to own stock?
When you own a share of a company.
Come on. What's real estate investing?
Real estate investing is when you invest in a immovable property.
What's the 2 types of real estates?
Commercial real estate and residential real estate.
What's commercial real estate?
Commercial real estate is property for businesses and workspace, like an office, store, or land.
And what's residential real estate?
Property to live on, like a house, apartment, or condominium.
Come on. It comes with extra fees when you have real estate, you feel me? Daddy tells you how many times he pays his state property tax a year.
Once a year.
What's the type of maintenance fee?
Cutting grass.
Come on. What's HOA?
Homeowner association.
And what comes along with that?
HOA fee.
Come on. And when it comes to the brokerage percent, what percent is that?
7.
Come on. What's equity?
Equity is the difference between what your business is worth minus what you owe on it.
Also assets minus
liabilities and debt.
Good job. What's credit report?
Credit report is like a report card letting you know how well you did by paying your money back you borrowed.
And how does credit affect your life?
The better you keep your credit, the more opportunities you'll have to get funding.
And what? Large purchases like?
A car or a house.
Come on. And always repay what you owe. Because if you owe somebody, that means you're in
debt.
And you never want to be in
debt.
Because that means you're
owe somebody.
And we don't never owe
Somebody.
because that ain't what suckers do, period. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Welcome.